This is very Myst-like in that kind of, here's your world, now figure it out.
Right, yeah.
Buyer's Remorse.
Hello and welcome to Buyer's Remorse. I'm Darren.
I'm Justin.
In Buyer's Remorse, we go through each other's libraries and find a game that is untouched, unplayed, unloved, and see what it's like. We play it for 60 minutes and then we come back here and talk about it. Jesus, man, I'm never going to get this. So, I picked a game for you and I don't remember what it was. Oh no, I just picked it last night, and how can I not remember what it was? I know the game, but I can't remember the name.
The Moon Sliver.
Is it not the Moon Silver?
No, but that's the way you typed it.
I've been calling it the Moon Silver for 5 years now.
If there is a silver, then I played the wrong game.
Okay, right.
But this is the one you had in mind.
Yes, it
I
is.
know, because you talked about it just before we started recording.
Yeah, okay.
Developed and published by David Szymanski.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's how you say it. It's just from 2019. It doesn't have a recent reviews, but all reviews on Steam, mostly positive, with 700. It's only about $2 at base, but even within the opening of the game tells you this is meant to be about an hour, which I'm not sure that that's true, because I played for an hour and I didn't finish.
I played for 2 hours and I've not finished.
Which would have been one of my first questions, is have you played it? In this game, you're on a mystery island, somewhat like Myst, but without the cool sets. You have a bunch of concrete rectangles, or stone rectangles. Not the most interesting assets, is I guess what I would say.
Yeah.
You're walking around. You basically, even within the description, within the story, it says you're going to have to put this together yourself. What you're essentially doing is you're walking around. You have question marks that will appear. You can click on those, and that will give you a bit of dialogue that has happened in the past between the 4 people that live on the island. You have the older couple, Abel and Issa, and the younger, Ellie and Daniel. Whether they are couples or whether Ellie and Daniel are children, I'm not really sure. I played for an hour. I read most of the things like 5 times because I still don't know where I'm supposed to go next. Actually, I have an idea where I'm supposed to go next, but I can't get in there. There's a hatch and I can't get in, and I'm pretty sure that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't finish. I will finish, but probably with a walkthrough, or at least some hints. Because so far, I felt like I played about 10 minutes of game, but I played it 5 times because I've walked around this island so many times. The game tells you when it becomes night, you need to go to the mountain, and there's a door in the mountain, and it keeps getting darker.
Yeah.
There's a storm, so is it dark because of the storm? I don't know. There's one thing that you look at, and it says, the night was cold and windy, and I went, oh great, it's nighttime. Walk to the door, come back at nighttime. It keeps telling me that over and over.
It's not nighttime enough yet.
It's not nighttime enough. That's a good way to put it. There is a cathedral area where you can find some notes from Hector.
Yeah.
These notes talk about being protected from these wood teeth or demon teeth, and this Moon Sliver is supposed to protect us. It was given to us to protect us, but the Moon Sliver is also possibly something written on paper. I'm not really sure because I haven't gotten to that part. I haven't gotten to the end part. So I don't exactly know what's going on. The text at times is really hard to read because it's just white text with no outline sometimes.
Right.
What's behind it makes it really hard to see.
Yeah. How would you describe the graphics of the game, though? What does it look like to you? Because I don't remember exactly this game.
If I'm going to be honest, I mean, it looks like somebody got some Unity assets and this is what they did with them.
Yeah.
The water looks awful.
Yeah.
And you could walk out a little bit and then it's like, nope, now there's an invisible wall.
Is it like PlayStation graphics, though, isn't it? Am I confusing it with another game?
Oh, you mean as far as what console gen I'd put it at? Yeah, you could say PlayStation. It's probably a little bit better than that. Thinking back to PlayStation, I'm thinking, let's say, Soul Reaver.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Reaver didn't have the best. The characters were blocky. Believe me, I love Soul Reaver. It's one of my favorite games, but it didn't look the best, and the look of it in many ways doesn't hold up as well. This could kind of be like that. It's more about the fact that the one shack that they've kind of created, you see 6 times.
Because everything's like one colour, isn't it? It's like all one colour with black lines, or there's a very limited palette, in this game.
I wouldn't say that, because the fire is definitely an orange color. The buildings are all the same material. It's all the same kind of sandstone, perhaps.
Right.
So you could say the buildings all look alike in that respect, like they're all made out of the same material. You go into each one, and there's not a lot, and you could see that there's giant barrels that have stuff in them, and they're in multiple places. There are buckets in multiple places. And of course, there are all sorts of tools in the one place. Hammer, wrenches, saw. Can't pick up any of those.
No, because that would be useful.
I did pick up a key at one point. I think that might have got me into the cathedral.
Did you find the tunnels?
No.
Okay.
I have not been able to get into the hatch yet. I did look at a hint after my hour. There is something in the conversation that should tell me the code that I didn't realize. So I'm going to look through them again. But I would say this game is very much a filling in the gaps concept. Here's all the dialogue. You have to put it together to figure out who are the characters, what are the characters like, which one might have betrayed you.
Where are you?
Am I the 4th one? I don't even know that because there were 4 characters, and we are told through one of the text boxes that one of them has survived and the other 3 have not. So I don't know exactly what's going on. This is very Myst-like in that kind of, here's your world, now figure it out.
Right, yeah.
The text boxes as well, though, like I said before, sometimes it's hard to read because of what's behind them, but also sometimes they stay too long. Mm-hmm. And so you can't really see behind them to start clicking on things, or at times you'll have one text window pop up over top of another text window, which also makes things difficult to read. You're never really quite sure, is there a proper order to them? Because you will walk into a room and there'll be one at the bottom that seems to be the theme of the room, and then 3 other things that pop up. It's almost like you've been given a choose-your-own-adventure story, and you have to put it in order. Instead of, if you want to do this, go to page 5, you actually have to just take the puzzle pieces and put them back in order. And that's kind of a lot of work for this kind of game. It's a very interesting way to do it. I think that the setting is very interesting, but the gameplay is not, and it also gets to the point where it's very confusing of like, what should I do? I started to find more text windows, and I didn't know if I was finding them because I had unlocked them somehow from looking at something else, or if I just didn't see them because some of them are really hard to spot and are in really weird positions in the room. And
pixel hunting.
You need to do it with your flashlight on, which of course dies. Not too badly though, and you can instantly recharge it once you find the outlets. I think, personally, just get rid of that mechanic altogether, but I always say that.
No, I totally agree with you. Flashlight should be banned in games now.
Or,
well, at least flashlight with batteries.
Yeah, make them last longer. I can't really get into more without really spoiling the story of this, and that is really all this game has as far as I've found so far.
Mm-hmm.
The assets, there are a couple of things that look like they're puzzles, but then you can't really interact with the dials, so they must not be.
Or not yet.
That's possible too. There's a lot I don't know about the game. The fact that he thinks you can do it in an hour, it's like, well, maybe he could.
Yeah, because you made it.
Yeah. Or maybe your friends could because you were guiding them, but it's not. And I don't know that I really need a save point. It warns you there's no save point, but I don't know if I really need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that long. It wouldn't take me that much longer to do what I need to do.
Yeah, even if you just got tired of it and you switched it off, you could zip back through all fairly quickly on your next run. Yeah.
What I have found is a Steam guide that has covered everything over, so you can just go hint by hint.
Okay.
And that's probably what I'll do, is really what I need for this is a hint system, because there are just a few things that I just can't put together. It's a bit like Myst. It's like if I stumble around, I could figure out some of the stuff, but there's some stuff that's just so vague that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. So who would you recommend this to that's listening then?
Well, I definitely would recommend this to you.
I'll probably go back and play it again. I wanted you to play it because, not because it was bad, I wasn't trying to do a gotcha. I didn't think you'd like it. This is not your style of game at all.
I would agree with that. There are things I like about the game, but overall, the playing of this one isn't that great. This feels a bit like a mystery walking sim. Having to put all the story together in this way isn't that fun, but it is an interesting concept. And so I will give it that. You are kind of the ideal candidate. You like walking sims, you like puzzles, you like filling in the gaps. This is all you all over the place. It just doesn't have quite enough puzzles, I think. And maybe the story won't be as interesting to you as it could be. But this is definitely for you. People who like Myst and Cairo, this is probably something for them. It's $2 at base.
I think I got it for less.
I got it in a bundle where I think 3 of his games came as one thing in the bundle.
Right.
You can get it cheap. And I think if you can get a few of these for $2 or something, it's probably worth it. This is a very cool indie experience. It, in my opinion, just needs to be guided a bit more as far as the mechanics and the story a bit. But overall, it was an interesting experience. So I would recommend it to a lot of people on the cheap if you want a short, interesting experience just to see what this one is like and to see maybe what could be done with this kind of format.
Right. And he's actually got a free game on Steam as well. It's called Fingerbones. And it's exactly the same as this, but it's much shorter. I think it only took me about half an hour to finish. If you download that and then you like that style of just walking, simming it around, picking up notes, putting together... Fingerbones is more of a horror kind of... It's almost like an Edgar Allan Poe story. And you just piece it together and then da-da-da, at the end you get a little kind of ending.
I think that would be great. I would highly recommend that one. And like you said, I would recommend doing that one first then. I think the biggest thing that is missing is just a way to take the notes you already have. And even if the game gave you a way to save them and you have to put them in order, that would be good. Something like that feels like it's needed here, because otherwise I'm going to have to write it all down and that becomes a chore instead of fun. But if you don't like walking sims, if you don't like puzzles, if you don't like games that are really hard to figure out, this may not be for you. But it's not a hard sell, given that it has good elements and it can be really cheap.
So what tags would you give it then?
I'd probably go with walking sim. Like, I'm tempted to say story rich because it's about the only thing that the game has. Indie, definitely.
Yeah.
Mystery, maybe?
An indie mystery walking sim. Yeah, why not?
That seems to be the most fitting. At this point, there's only one puzzle so far, really. It's like how to get into the hatch. And
all the puzzles are in the mountain. That's what.
And how to get something to open this box that apparently was not the key I picked up before.
Right.
Can't use the saw or the hammer or any of the other tools I found.
Yeah.
So I would hesitantly recommend it to a lot of people. I think if you want to see indie, interesting, something original, this might be for you.
But you said you would go back then?
I definitely plan to go back, but I'm going back with a hint system. And then maybe I can hint you through as well so that you can finally get through this one. I lost the fun factor about 20 to 30 minutes in.
Right.
And I was just constantly running back to that door and getting more and more frustrated. Hopefully the video I recorded while playing, I can use some of that for this video. And you just see me constantly walk to the door, see it says, oh, you've got to wait for night. And then me looking at the sky going, is it not?
It's black.
I do plan to finish it.
Cool. So, yeah, I don't know where you would fall in this then. So, buyer's remorse or confirmation, I've got no idea.
It's a tough one because, like I said, the fun faded pretty early on.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. I think that, especially for the super cheap price that I got it for, and for what it's doing, I see real potential in this style of game and storytelling. It could just be a bit better. But for a first attempt for me to play this kind of game, I'm actually going to say this is a confirmation.
Bingo.
Buyer's confirmation.
Which kind of surprises me as well.
Yeah.